Hello again, a little bit of a delay there, but we have 17 drivers ready to go for the Irish Sea Prix here at the Cuaird Blarnan circuit. And following with Matimar to start us off now. Just taking a minute to look at the title challenges at the moment. So 6Y, our title leader by 15 points, has in the midweek actually said he's retiring from the season and will not be participating any longer. So it really leaves the door open. Figueroa, who is the next highest, has a 18-point gap on Guzman in P3. So it's a really big challenge for those two drivers to see who will take the honours today. But it is those two in the front row. Figueroa ahead of Guzman with a 30.5 second, fairly strong time to get us underway after just a single lap of qualifying here in Ireland. Tight hairpin into the long run across the bridge over that, I want to assume that's the overpass, and into this tricky final sector here, just following Figueroa as he goes through the last corner into the straight. It is not an improvement just by 1/10, but it is it's faster. Almost faster than almost everyone has gone. Himpo improves to P2, and it is P2 and P3 for the VEO drivers at the moment. Jaruni also improves to 4th. Guzman dropping to 5th, Matimar in 6th. Then it's Gorlomi, Skip, X6, and Ethan, the top 10, before the drivers make that last final tour of the track. Himpo making a few mistakes in the final sector. Matimar finding the line. Himpo doesn't improve. Matimar does. Gorlomi does as well. It's going to be a tied second row of the grid there, but it is Figueroa who holds on to pole position by just 0.03 of a second. Himpo just missing out on that. He will start in P2. Gorlomi in 3rd, tied with Matimar in P4. Rams in 5th, then it's Jaruni, Guzman, Dumarkina. Then we've got a tie for P9 between X6 and Skip, filling in for the departing 6Y. Ethan in P11, followed by Rusky, Boniewicz James, Nakes, Juan, Urist, and Axperial. Whole bunch of drivers subbing in for some missing drivers today. But it has been an interesting first session here, the qualifying. And as usual, that top 10 will be flipped around for the start of our wet sprint race. So that will be Skip starting on pole position for the sprint with X6 alongside. Figueroa and Himpo will be starting from the 5th row. Okay. And here we are now, the rain falling down. X6 taking us away for 12 laps in Ireland. And he leads us away quite well. It's 3 wide into the first corner. But it looks like X6 is held alongside. Skip following along. Dumarkina charging through. Matimar makes him... Oh, it's a massive shove there. X6 and Skip completely going wide onto, I believe that was turn 7. Wow. And that gives Dumarkina the lead of the race. Oh dear. It is absolute carnage as we enter the last sector of the lap. And it is actually going to be Matimar leading us away after a single lap of the race. And the driver who is currently sitting P3 in the standings gets a brilliant start here. Dumarkina in P2, followed by X6. Figueroa already charging their way up to P4 from 10th on the grid. Tight here between turn 9 and 10, then 11, the big hairpin. Figueroa gets a great exit there. It's a Ricker Auto 1-2 as we go across the bridge. Dumarkina still trying to follow in the wake of that black and orange car. Oh, and Figueroa's made a mistake. Dumarkina has stopped on the start-finish line just behind him. X6 getting through now, and it is a battle then for those two for the podium positions. Let's go further back. Oh, it's another big shove there, and Gorlomi and Rams are going to pile on through. Skip, Urist trying to get through turn 6. The kink at 7 really not helping anyone there. It's 8, 9, 10. Gorlomi following. Dumarkina, Nakes now in P9. Guzman, Boniewicz James and Himpo right behind him, sitting 11th and 12th. Then Jaruni in 13th. Ethan, Rusky, Axperial 1 at the tail end of the grid, these two. Then it's Matimar, though, with 2.5 seconds of a barrier between him and his teammate. Halfway through lap 4, Figueroa just chasing along, though. We'll be hoping to have that better pace when the tyres start to really wear out, which is half the challenge of these sprint races, of course. Ram still holding on to P3 for the time being. X6 with trying to get that cheeky inside line on the final corner. He tries to make a dive into turn 1. Both compromise their exits out of that. X6 might have his nose in front, entering turn 3 and 4. Those are very hard corners to go side by side, and it looks like X6 has taken the position there. Urist in 5, Guzman in 6. He will want to make quick work of the Portuguese driver. He has a title challenge on the line here. It looks like Urist has got the better line through these corners. Slowly breaking away from Guzman, but Guzman gets a better exit out of the final corner here, and he might end up side by side. No, he does not. Urist holding onto the line here. Guzman very close now. Between those two, it's still nip and tuck between them. They're the closest drivers in this breakaway pack, but alongside Ethan with a big dive down turn 3. Made it work pretty well, actually. Didn't completely compromise Rusky, but Skip and Rusky breaking a bit too late there into turn 6. And Skip with another interesting maneuver there. Tries to get through on the inside on turn 11. Doesn't quite make it work. Oh, that could have been a big incident. There's 6 cars scrapping away for P7, and no one is giving an inch here. Rusky's still ahead. Actually, let's go to the front here, because Matimar is losing all sorts of time. Figueroa is on the tail end of his teammate, and Figueroa, we know that title will be quite the goal now to end this season. He did get that first podium finish in Ultimate League just last week, so if he can cap that season off, pretty decent season in the Neon Sunset Racing team, along with a CL Championship, that could be quite the lovely event for him. Matimar still holding onto the position though, but he does get a bit of a bad exit there. Figueroa with the ghosting into the bridge, side by side, bad exit from Matimar, and Figueroa is through now into P1 with 4 laps left to play here. I did not mention earlier that Golomi did pit a while back, and he's definitely retired from the race. Not sure if that was my screen going off, but it is still the record order, still pretty close. X6 still leading Rams, but it's still quite close between them. And there's a bit of a gap between them and Guzman. Urist quite alone in 6th. Rusky seemed to have gapped everyone behind him in 7th, actually catching onto the Bobcat quite well. And his teammate Dumarkin in 8th. Ethan in P9, followed by Skip holding on to P10 at the moment, ahead of Himpo. He's chasing onto Ethan quite well. Alongside that, Himpo really teasing the rear wing of that Lusso Britannica car that has been dominant for the first half of the season. And Himpo trying to make a move here. Skip really dives in quite early for that corner. Holds on the position, but his exit is quite poor. Bunyo, it's James, tries to make a look here. Oh my goodness, what was that? Massive teleport. Bunyo seems to be through. It was a bit of a delayed reaction there. He definitely saw things different on his screen. Probably a lot cleaner of a move from his end. Himpo is still in 12th. Jaruni 1. Nake's now behind him. 2 just really battling nip and tuck here. 1 loses out all of his grip here, and Dumarkina is teleporting all over the place. I'm not sure what's going on with his car, because he is all out of sorts now. Max Peril at the back. Figueroa has actually completely gapped his teammate. What has happened on this previous lap? The gaps will tell something different. It's a 3-second gap now, but Matty only lost 7/10 that previous lap, so something must have happened between the 2 Ricker Auto drivers while we had our screens away there. Rusky's actually gotten Urus for 6th. Missed that one as well, but it is Figueroa just rounding through the final sector here, just across turn 16 and onto the start finish straight. He wins once again in Challenger League. Matimar will take P2 of Ricker Auto 1-2 with a fastest lap. Maximum points for that team. And we've got Rams just pipping X6 to Lime to take that podium. Guzman fights back for P5, and it's Rusky followed by Urist. Ethan will take P8 ahead of Bunyowitz James. Himpo in P10. Jaruni just taking it over his teammate. No, they're tied actually for P11, the Loser Britannica drivers. And it's Dumarkin and Nakes 1, and Axperial just finishing off right now. Interesting result that. Alrighty then. There is your standings for the race here. Figueroa and Matima, the front two. Max points for Ricker Auto with that fast lap as well on Figueroa's account. Rams in P3, X6 in 4th. Just really quite tight fight for that final position on the podium. Guzman in P5, followed by Rusky, Urist, Ethan, Bunyowitz James and Himpo rounding out the top 10. A tie for P11 between Skip and Jaruni. Then it's Dumarkina in 13th. Nakes in P14, then it's Axperial, the last finisher, with Gorlomi retiring quite early on. And with that out of the way, Figueroa completing a P10 to finish in, starting P10 to finish first in the sprint. What can he do from pole position with the dry running to come in just a few moments? Welcome back. Track has dried out here at Cuaird de Blarnan, and the red lights are out, and we are underway for our feature race today. 31 laps of this track today. Figueroa leading us off with a strong start here. Matimar Himpo getting challenged right up to the line here. Figueroa with a big mistake at turn 6. He's lost the lead to his teammate, and Himpo is through into P2. Huge incident there, but Figueroa is right back into the top 2 now. He's made that move. Oh, he's made another mistake here, and Matimar is away. Figueroa in P3 now, getting challenged by Himpo. He might be backing out, trying to get a better exit out of turn 1. Matimar's made a bit of an incident there. It's 5 cars here fighting for it. Make that 4. Rams with a bit of a mistake there. And Himpo and Figueroa really nip and tuck behind the back of Matimar's Ricker Auto. Gorlomi in this fight now. He's gotten himself into the top 3. Good start from him. Himpo with a mistake though. He's going to fall back to 5th. Jaruni in on the medium tyre. We'll love to see these the top 5 squabbling here. Maybe get a bit of a slipstream for himself. His lines are looking quite nice as we enter lap 3 of the race here. X6 in P7, followed by Guzman, the highest starter on the hard compound. He's trying to make it past the Mazda Motorsport driver. He's got the inside line into turn 11, but doesn't make a good exit out of it. X6 still holds a position in P7. Skip in P8, followed by Ethan, Nakes, and Rusky, followed in 12th. Urist in P13 on the hards. Juan on the hards in 14th. And it's Axperial and Ilya at the back, both on soft compound tyres. So, we'll have to see how the strategy really brings itself out, but once again, as we saw in the sprint, it's Matimar with a better start than his teammate. He's got a 1.5 second advantage as we head through and finish lap 4 of 31 here in Ireland. But I will say though, that the pace between the Ricker Autos that last lap was quite comparable. Rams holding on to P3 as it stands. Gorlomi trying to challenge him for that place. Himpo and Jaruni getting in the fight here. Jaruni would love to hold on to any more slipstream, as we've got a very immediate retirement from Juan. He had to leave this race here after just 4 laps completed. Rams still leading his teammate. So just for the moment now, it's a Ricker Auto 1-2 and a VEO 3-4 as Himpo tries to get through on his teammate, and he looks like he has done so. Through into P3, Rams just following along. Jaruni now just watching as the mediums start to come more favourable around here. Lap 6 is starting to make its make the wear known on the soft tyre runners. Golormi finding some trouble here. X6 still holding on to P7 ahead of Guzman, but how much longer can he hold on to it before he makes a pit stop here? Lap 6, someone's into the pits, and that is Rams. He'll be the first one to stop here, going for that undercut. And what will he do for his tyre strategies? He's the only one to pit on this lap. He's on for another set of soft compound tyres. Ilya and Axperia are really falling behind. Hard to say because they're filling in for other drivers on the grid. Figueroa now in front of Matimar as the tyres wear really becomes known. And it looks like Matimar maybe wanted to go into the pits there, but he's going to follow his teammate and grab a bit of that slipstream. As we head in, I believe that is X6 and Himpo into the pits now. As Girouni keeps running along on the mediums. Golormi on the softs. Guzman on the hards for 8 laps. Himpo comes out just behind Urus. X6 about 2 seconds back from him. Rusky, Skip, Ethan all coming out of the pits around the same point, and so is Nakes just a second behind those two. Ilya and Axperia also coming in as Figueroa and Matimar make their stops simultaneously, double stacking at the Ricker Auto team, and looks like things have gone on quite nicely for those two. Girouni now inherits the lead with Guzman following along on that slipstream. But it is the soft tyres making the job happen for the Ricker Auto drivers here. Guzman, Girouni still falling on. How long can Girouni last on those mediums is yet to be seen because they are looking quite worn. Guzman also finding a little bit of wear in his hard tyres. Will be enjoying a bit of slipstream if he can manage it. But Girouni is trying to make these overtakes from the leaders as clean as possible. Trying to work together with them, try and elevate his race position. Because that slipstream can be quite important, but no, Guzman is losing out a little bit. Girouni has lost the slipstream, and it looks like Guzman might have as well. So we are maybe focusing a bit too much on the top lead now. Rams trying to chase those cars as well on that undercut. Girouni is in after 10 laps on the mediums. But it's interesting now, because you think, like, some of these drivers who are going for 2 sets of softs, are they going for a 4 stop? 3 or 4, maybe? Because realistically, if you're only going for softs, that'd be potentially a 3 stop with perhaps a little bit of room for a 4 stop, but it is quite a long pit lane, as we're aware today. Have someone else joining the pit lane again, and it is Guzman in after 11 laps on the hard tyre. He's going to fall well behind Girouni on that undercut. He falls in P8, just ahead of this big pack fighting for ninth. It's Ethan, it's Skip making a bit of a dive here, and quite enough to get through on Rusky, but not enough on Ethan. They all have pretty much identical tyres in terms of deg. We'll Skip with a nice line here. Will he be given space? Doesn't look like he has been. Falls behind Rusky here. Urus makes his first stop after 12 laps, so he's the last to make that initial stop off his starting tyres. Back to the lead though, it is Figueroa with a 1.2 second gap on his teammate, and he's built that up the previous lap by about a tenth. So Matimar will definitely need to see himself improve on that pace a little bit if he wants to get back into this fight for the lead. Figueroa is the class of the field at the moment. The two drivers are now almost 6 seconds ahead of P3. It is Himpo in the VEO holding that position, and he's running along on the hard tyres for this next stint. There's this plan going into it. X6 in P4, also on the hards. It's Girouni, who is one of only 4 drivers on the soft tyre at the moment. Golormi also in and out of the race. He's made that stop maybe a lap or 2 earlier, but another unfortunate DNF for him. It's Guzman in P6 on that relatively fresh hard set. Rams in 7th as the last of our softs runners, and he's the first actually to make a second stop. Speaking of second stops though, it is Mattimar in. And where will he come out? He comes out just ahead of X6, so he does hold on to the position, does hold on to the podium, sorry. But that is a lot of time, stuck in that pit lane. That delta is quite large in this lap, and Mattimar's made a huge error here, and surely that will really compromise his undercut on his teammate. For now though, it'll be tight to see. Himpo does inherit the lead of the race. Figueira is a long way, almost a second almost a second and a half now ahead of his teammate, despite the undercut. That is, well, if you are Figueira, you can't really be any more pleased with news than that. He's got his own race to run now, and he can really blast away and get himself that lovely lights the flag victory. Mattimar in P2 now, just let through by Himpo, who's starting to feel the wear on those hard tyres now. It's quite tough for him at the moment. Still following Mattimar quite well though. That slipstream will be very, very beneficial as he tries to hold on to that podium position. X6 still chasing on those hards. Grizzlyman with a bit fresher compound tyres compared to the two hard drivers in front of him. Rams now finding his soft tyres helping him out, but he's sort of... sorry. But he's a bit stuck in terms of strategy, because he hasn't been running any longer than 6 or 7 laps on the softs, and if he pits this lap, surely he needs to go to the hard tyres, and I don't know, I don't feel like the 4-stop is going to work out for Rams here. Girini and Rusky fighting away here. Girini on those soft tyres, fresh soft tyres at that. He's going to be getting through on the Velocity driver. It's Ethan in P9. Both of them, both Rusky and Ethan, into the pit. So is X6 and Rams. Skip on that undercut though. We'll have to see where he ends up, ahead of Ethan and ahead of Rusky. So good result for him on that undercut. And he'll be hoping to maybe stick on those hard tyres for the rest of the race. We'll have to see how that progresses. For now though, Figueira is well and truly away now. 2.43 seconds now, the gap as we enter a more straight line section of the course. But a lot of work for Mattimar to overcome here, and just less than 11 laps to go. So he's just on the overtake and just on the process of lapping Nakes, who is sitting in P12 at the moment. Axperio and Ilya in the pits now. Grizzlyman in P3, still running quite nicely on that. Only two sets of hards he's been on for the race. We'll be looking for the 2-stop today. We'll have to see how that can play out, because he will be potentially fighting for P2 if he can make the hards really work out for this final stint, because he will get undercut on he will get that undercut on Mattimar, but will it be enough? Himpo in P4, about a second and a half away from the Norwegian. Then it is Girini on the softs, and he's looking for a 3-stop on the soft tyre. It's making an alternate strategy work out quite nicely here, ahead of Rams and X6, who are fighting away. X6 on the hards, Rams on the hards, so they've both gone in for their final stops. Then it's followed by Skip in P8. The drivers are really spread out here, but there are a few couples still fighting away. Rusky and Ethan are one of those two. Here, fighting for P9. Rusky trying to make an opportunity work here into the chicane at 9 and 10, into the hairpin at 11. Rusky with a better exit with that slipstream. It's not going to work out. We do need to cross over to, believe Mattimar has come out of the pits here. He's on a fresh set of soft tyres, again on the undercut against his teammate, and he is a second and a half off of Himpo now. But he is a long way back from Figueira, and I don't think the leader of the race is concerned at all, but he does pit in response onto the soft tyre to run for just 7 laps. Himpo now still holding on to P2. His tyres are still quite good for the time being. He'll be hoping that maybe he can manage on those hards. Maybe give Matimar something to fight for at the end of the race here. Ram's still chasing as well. 3 seconds back from P3, sorry. And it's X6 who's actually gained quite a bit of time here. But both drivers did pit on equivalent tyres. Guzman now is going to be chasing them on the softs, and it's a long distance between them. It's about 2.5 seconds between X6 and Guzman, but there is every chance that Guzman can make the difference in his car, in the Nordic Blizzard, and on those fresh, soft rubber tyres. Girouni now just ahead of his teammate after making that pit stop. He's on the softs, and Skip is falling away on those hard tyres a little bit. Don't think he'll be finishing the race on those ones. It's quite the task to get through another 6 laps? No, 5 laps from here now. Rusky in P9, and it's Ethan in 10th. Still chasing away. Holding onto that slipstream quite nicely for the time being. And it is Eurus now in P11. Long way back from P10 now. Followed by Nakes and Axperial, with Ilya still running at the back of the field as well. Golomi and Juan are DNFs for today, but Figueira is absolutely making mincemeat of the competition as we add to the final 3 laps of the race. It is nearing a 6-second gap between his nearest rival. Himpo and Matimar now side by side. Matimar with the inside into turn 1. Himpo forced the outside, and it will be forced the outside entering turn 3, but Matimar looked like he might have made a mistake there, but it looks like it's nothing but clean sailing for the pole here, now in P2. Himpo will be desperate for that slipstream now. If Matimar makes a couple of mistakes on those worn soft tyres, it could open the door for him here. With just 2 laps to go, he needs to hold on to that slipstream. It looks like he's done that so far. Ram still in 4th. Guzman in X6. Guzman is through now, but can he hold on to the position? The softs will start to really die out in the last few laps. He's hit the wall there. X6 taking the better exit there. Guzman out of turn 7 is through. Back into P5. Let's go back. Figueira starting the last lap of the race. Matimar ahead of Himpo still. But it is still that slipstream holding on to it. The Finn here coming through. Still holding on to that. Tight lines between both drivers in this battle for 2nd place. But it is far and away a race for the Portuguese driver today. Figueira, he took the sprint in convincing fashion. He takes the feature. Maximum points here for Figueira. Let's go back to the leaders, back to T2, sorry. Matimar holding off there. It was a bit of a tight situation there, but Matimar will hold on to P2. Himpo in P3, then it's Rams in 4th. Exis and Guzman have really slowed down the last lot. I'm not sure what's happened there between the two. But it is X6 finishing ahead. Girouni in P7, then it's Skip in 8th. Rusky and Ethan fighting to the line for P9. And Ethan takes it by 1/100th of a second. Oh, that is quite the tight finish there between rivals from 2 different teams. Urist will finish the race in P11, followed by Nakes in 12th. Xperio still a lap down, and Ilya about a lap and a half down here. So that's pretty much all it is for today. But let's get back to this. The race results for today. Figueira with the sprint race win, with the sprint race fastest lap, and then also the feature race win and the feature race fastest lap. Full points for him with the pole position to spare. I'm not sure we've seen that in quite a while. A complete dominant result in all in all aspects here. Matima will finish second again, 9 seconds ahead of behind his teammate, with Himpo just behind him. The VEOs making it 3 and 4 will be a great result for them. X6 and P5 just pipping Kuziman. I'm expecting maybe some foresight, maybe protest from Kuziman about what could have been occurring on those last few corners. Jaruni leading Skip to 7th and 8th for the Loser Botanica team. Ethan pipping Rusky to P9. And yeah, wow, quite the exciting finish between those two drivers. Urist following along in P11, then it's Nex, Axperio, and Ilya, with Golomi and Juan are 2 retirements for the feature. And that is all for today. Thank you for joining me for the Irish round Challenger League, and we'll have to come back next week. Only 2 races to go. And we go to a classic track. We go to the Bugatti circuit in Le Mans. Can't wait to see that track back on our calendar. And I'll see you then next week.